everyone. Let's hop into Sudoku Pad. There we go. Hope everyone is doing well. We had a provided bet tree for this next puzzle that we have. So I'm going to start with a kuraban puzzle, which I think will be fun. I can announce, although it's not quite out yet, but I will soon be releasing my first 5-star puzzle in a long time. A lot of people have asked me for easier puzzles, and I have set a lot of easier puzzles, so I know there's a wide audience for that, but there is a very narrow audience of people who ask, when are you going to set the next 5-star puzzle? So I have the next 5-star puzzle almost ready. I'm still polishing a little bit here and there, but it turns out July 18th is the last time I published a 4-star puzzle, a 5-star puzzle, which was vignettes. This is at least as crazy as vignettes. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can look forward to it. I also look forward to LMD, after I posted as 5 stars, voting to reduce it to 3 stars, which I suspect might happen. We will see. LMD be crazy lately. All right. I should also mention that today's stream is going to be much shorter than usual because Meme Rister is interviewing... Is it Math Pesto? Isn't it Math Pesto today? I think it is Math Pesto today. And so we're going to stop in time to sort of relay you over to Math Pesto in an hour and 45 minutes. So we might be able to get through 2 Fog of War puzzles. We might not be able to, but in case you feel like you're not getting nearly enough Zeta, tomorrow I am also going to be streaming Taiji. The stream is scheduled so you can look forward to that. I probably will be 4 or maybe a little longer hours, so I'm looking forward to that. We can see if I remember anything about Taiji other than there's a 3 of diamonds involved somehow, so we can look forward to that. Oh, I promised that Tristan had scheduled it, and Tristan, I made Tristan look bad. Apologies. It will be scheduled shortly. But anyway, you can look forward to that, as well as the regular Sunday stream. So you're still going to get sort of all your Zeta, just packaged slightly differently than normal. Alrighty, and we have Math Pesto in here before they warming up for their interview. All right. So let us delve in without further ado to Kuraban's puzzle. So again, this is the bet tree for this puzzle. In my brain, for whatever reason, I was like, and we don't know whether there's going to be a digit here or not, but I don't know what puzzle I thought I was doing, but it wasn't that kind. So there's going to be a digit here, but who knows what's going to be on it. Okay, so here are our rules. So we have gray lines are 10 lines. It's funny, when I made the first 10 lines puzzle, I was like, what color do I use? All of them feel used, so I used gray, just sort of to be sort of like neutral, and now 10 lines are just gray, which is fine. They look kind of like palindromes, but no one uses palindromes anymore, I suppose. So I need to break this line down into groups of cells that sum to 10. So it could be 1 kajigger of things that sum to 10, or it could be 2. It can't be 3, I will reveal. And so on. Yeah, I always think it's funny when people tell me that they've done the puzzle so they won't bet, and I'm like, is having done the puzzle really an advantage to guessing what this digit is? Only if you have a very different memory than I do. To give you some sense of where my memory is, I scrolled through the puzzles to figure out the one I hadn't done, and then I first opened microstudies because I looked at the grid and it didn't look familiar. And then I saw the name of it, and I was like, oh, I have done that. So that's about where my memory is. Yeah, as Math Pesto says, I feel like I could even guess on bet cells on my own puzzles, and I would be very unlikely to get it correct. Okay, so I think... I think perhaps specifically to tilt Sam Kappelman lines, Kuraban has said standard Kropki rules apply. It does say pairs. Never mind. Standard Kropki pairs rules apply. So that's black dots are 2 to 1, white dots are consecutive. No negative constraint. The pairs there that I missed is the no negative constraint part. Although I feel like it is very rare you see any sort of negative Kropki puzzle these days, but the original puzzles had negative constraints. Let's see. Okay. Other clues may be located within the hidden region. These clues have been labeled to indicate exactly what they represent. They're all standard constraint types. There are no negative constraints. Some of the clues will be lines. None of these lines may overlap except with a single 10 line. Outside clues, one of the clues is shown at the beginning, a region sum line. For this line, each time the line enters box 5 is considered separate. So these two have the same sum as these two, have the same sum as these three, is the way this works. I think the thing I know is that this is a 2 or a 4. Oh, that's right. I would like row column labels, please. I don't know if they're working or not, but we'll try it. I am very sympathetic with the tech issues, because I know it must be incredibly frustrating to have had row and column labels working perfectly and then have them be not working at all again. Tristan likes the Fog of War animations, so we can have the Fog of War animations. I'm all for making Tristan happy. So what can we say about the sum of this business? Well, these two sum to an odd number. So I know the total of these cells and these cells and these cells are odd. So I guess I know the sum of these 4 are even, for whatever that's worth, because I'm not exactly sure what to do with that yet. Let's see. So, I mean, I can go ahead and mark that these are from 1, 2, 4, 8, just for my own personal sanity. You can't have... What's wrong, Tristan? You can't have 1 sum to 10, someone says. I'm not sure if I believe that. Audio filter needs a poke. Yes. I suspected that was going to be the case because you are going down the stairs a little bit loudly. And I think it picked up some of that. One moment. There we go. There's a YouTube emoji bug? I don't think I knew about the YouTube emoji bug. Sorry, so I'm still not seeing why this needs to sum to this. Why this needs to sum to more than 10. But I do believe that the total sum here is even. And so, okay, so the total sum of this is even. And I also know the sum of these is even. And so if the sum of these is even and the sum of these is even, that means these two are the same parity, I think. So I don't know whether it's odd or even, but I think I know that these two are the same parity. Now, I see Heliopolix's point next, which is that I can't make these 2, 4, 8. And the reason why this can't be 2, 4, 8 is that if this was 2, 4, 8, that's 3 of the even digits for the box. But because I know each of these pairs sums to an odd number, I know each of them needs to have an even on it. And so, in fact, actually, this is 1, 2, 4, which means we get our first digit, which is a 2. And we get to bring out Zach for his patented 2 dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Okay, Mixo says I did the parody thing wrong. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't think that's actually going to be useful. So these are 2. They don't have an 8 on them. And so in particular, the 6 and 8 are over here, I know, on the line. So we've got that. I don't know. One of these has the 6 and one of them has the 8. These are odd, of course. So they're from 3, 5, 7, 9. I don't know that that was really, really worth filling in, but it's true. Okay, so now the point is the minimum of these digits is 3 and 5. And so these sum to a minimum of 8. So definitely this can't sum to 2. So therefore, I definitely have a 2-cell and a 3-cell sum in my 5 sum here. 8 is too big for either of those. So the 8's not there. Because an 8... No, that's not true. No, that was a lie. 8's not too big. Could be 8, 2 would be fine. Yeah, that would be totally okay. So, hey, Neverio, hope you're doing well. I think I need to go back to the parody thing I was doing. Oh yeah, by the way, please take a second to like the stream if you have not yet done so. It does really help people find the stream. So greatly appreciated if you could hit the thumb up button. Okay, I want to do the these sum to an even number, and these sum to an even number. So the sum of all of these, so the sum of these is even. But the whole line has an odd sum. Okay, right. Okay, so these do have opposite parity. I did do that wrong. I don't know what to do with it, but it's true. Okay. So one of these is a 6 or 8. The other one is not. Yeah, Neverio, I have volunteered to do that, so I'm hoping at some point I get to co-host some utterly nonsensical thing. This digit's big. Because it's not a 1 or a 2, it's at least a 3. Okay. So, do I know what that means? Yeah, so the even digit... No, not quite. I'm trying to figure out if I know what the 10 sum that has a 3 in it is. Because this digit's at least a 3, and if it's not a 3, then it's at least a 5, which is suspicious, but I don't think it's broken immediately. At least that I'm able to tell. But since this is part of a 3-cell sum, it can't be too large. I do know that one of these is a 6 or an 8. Let's see. So, yeah, maybe the question is, what's the minimum sum here? Or what's the minimum digit that could be here? So the minimum digit that can be here is a 5. So this digit is at least a 5 because it's a white dot with a 6 or an 8 on it. So if this is at least a 5, then these two digits, if they're both on this, would need to add to at most 5. So the only way that would ever work is if this was a 3. Sadly, that logic does not work up here. At all. I do need to remember that these 3 cells sum to this number, whatever it is. So that's probably a useful thing to help. Let's see, Isabella would really like me to pencil mark this. So we can rule out 8 and 9 immediately because this is part of a 3-cell sum. If this is a 7, I would need these to be 1, 2. Or these to be 1, 2. But they can't be 1, 2 because these can be neither 1 nor 2, so it's not a 7. If this is a 6, I would need one of these to be 1, 3. It couldn't be that one for sure. It would have to be the 1 there and the 3 there. But I don't think it's immediately broken. No, it is broken. It is broken. No, not necessarily. 3 and 8 would be fine. So I think this could be as high as 6. I bet it's a 3, but I don't think we can prove it yet. Let's see. Yeah, so I think there's lots of options sort of floating around at the moment. This black dot strikes me as something that's going to be very relevant in combination with everything, but I don't quite know exactly how yet. Let's see. See, Mixo says the black dot can't be 3, 6. Okay, I bet we could prove that, because if the black dot is 3, 6, then this is a 5. And then this digit is a 3 or a 6, and I think both break. No, because I could do 3 here, 6 here. Oh, yeah, I couldn't do 1, 4. Yeah, it's very look-aheady, I think. There's probably a more elegant way to see it, but I think I do believe this isn't 3, 6. Let's see. People really want me to force the region sum total, which I admit I'm reluctant to do only because it's agonizing. Not because I don't think it'll be useful, but it seems horrible. Let's see. It's like I can't see any like super nice way to sort of force this total. I mean, I guess I could think about it mod 3. Yeah, maybe I should think about the sum of these two mod 3. Because I know the sum of all of these is 0 mod 3. And I know the sum of these is 2 mod 3. So the sum of these two needs to be 1 mod 3, for whatever that's worth. I do agree 11 is the minimum plausible sum for the line. Because the minimum is 5 and 6 here. But yeah, the fact that these two need to sum to something 1 mod 3 seems interesting to me. Let's see. So Jay says for column 6, it's at least 9. Yeah, so these are at least... Okay, so these cells need to sum to at least 9, is Jay's point. So these are at minimum 3 and 6. And if those are a minimum of 3, 6, then that means these are a maximum of 11. I don't think that knowing that these is a maximum of 11 is interesting, though, does it? Oh, no, it is! It is! It is! Because 11 is equal to 11. Okay, I can explain that. So the point is these cells need to sum to 11, and these need to be a 3, 6 pair. So the point is these two always sum to at least 9. And so because the whole 10 line we know sums to exactly 20, we know these sum to at most 11. But these sum to exactly the same as these two. And these two sum to a minimum of 11. So I need to make these sum to exactly 9, with these summing to exactly 11. And so I think what I need is I need this to be a 6 and a 5. I need there to be an 8 up here, and it needs to go there. In order to make the lines work, that needs to be a 3. And so these are from 1 to 4, I know. Let's see. And I do need these to sum up to 11. Oh, but I need these to sum to 7 now is the point, because I can't make these two sum to 10. So in fact, these 3 sum to 10. So that's a 4. Which makes those a 1 or a 1 and a 2, because that's my 10 sum. This is my other 10 sum. And so these need to sum to 7. Which means they're either 1, 6, or 2, 5. This is never a 3 anymore. It is always a 5 or a 6. This, interestingly, is not a 1, 2, or a 4. So if this is anything out of the 1, 2, 4, 8 oeuvre, it's an 8. And if this is anything out of the 3, 6 oeuvre, it's a 3. So this is always 3 or 8. And so this is always 4 or 6 for whatever it is worth. I know there's a 1 and a 2 over down here, which presumably will be useful later. I have an entropic line here. I have a Renban here. This black dot is 3, 6. No, it could... No, this black dot is 3, 6 because of the 2 and 8 in the column. So if you've not seen how this works, the 2 and 8 in the column actually block off every way of making a black dot with 1, 2, 4, 8. So these are a 3, 6. Hey, Bremster, welcome. So we can pencil mark the rest of this column. Somehow Mark is gone from the mark button, but even though he's gone, he still works. But where Mark is supposed to be, there is just a black square on my screen for whatever reason. Okay, this is at least a length 4 line, but I don't think that's super useful. There's at least 179 over here, but that sure doesn't sound useful. Oh, the fact that there's this... I don't know how long the Renban is. The Renban could be quite large. I was thinking that this 3, 6 didn't appear on the Renban, but it definitely can. If this is big enough. There's a 5 or 6 up here. That doesn't sound super useful. These 3 cells from this Renban... So this is actually a little bit interesting if I think about this and whether it can be a 10-sum. So if these 2 themselves sum to 10, it needs to be... can't be a 3 with a 7. It would need to be a 6 with a 4. I don't think so, Bremster, because these 2 need to add to 7 in order to make these add to 10. But I think they can add to 7 as 2, 5, or 1, 6. Right, Bremster? Tristan, can you post your copy pasta about the mark button? Katara is interested. And by the way, welcome, Katara. Alrighty. Welcome, Kuraban. There's a 4 up here. Nicholas pointed that out earlier. There's a 6 up here, which doesn't sound very useful. Can't tell which letter I missed. Kitiara. Okay, Kitiara. Well, welcome. I think I missed an I, but I really can't see the I even when I squint. Let's see. Too many vertical lines altogether for me to quite make it out, but I can say Kitiara even if I can't see the line. Let's see. 4, 6 on the 10 line breaks. Right. Okay, that's the point. Beautiful, Isabella, and beautiful setting. So this is never a 2-cell 10-sum. That's the point. And the reason why this is never a 2-cell 10-sum is what would it be? It would need to be 3, 7. It can't be that. Or it would need to be 6, 4. And it can't be that for the sneaky reason of that over there. Hey, Texas Game Mom, welcome. So in my sort of like 10-sum... tensomeness, at least it's these 3 that sum to 10, and maybe this one as well. But if it's this one as well, these would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly. Which I don't know. I bet I know a reason why this can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't know what the reason is that I know. I sure want this to be 2, 3, 4, 5. That would make sense. If this is a 6... this just can't be a 6. Because if this is a 6, I would need to make it in 2. Sorry, I'd need to make it in 2 more. These would need to be a 1, 3 pair, but the 3 in the box is there. That's gorgeous. So that's a 3 and that's a 6. So now we've got that. We've got some more black dottage down here. Well, these are certainly from 1, 2, 4, 8, because they're not from 3, 6. Oh, it can't be 4, 6, Bremster, because this is my 4, 6 10-sum. So those are already summing to 10, and so then I need the remainder to break into 10 sums, and it can only be one 10 sum. I think is what you were asking. This Renban goes on for a ways. Let's see. Yeah, so 10 lines, you just have to break the line entirely into pieces that don't overlap, where each piece sums to 10. So 325 would be fine here, 316 would be fine here, but because this already sums to 10, those can't be involved. Let's see. The fact that there's a 1-4 here with those is very interesting. Oh, no problem, Brumster. I'm happy to help. So I know that there's a 1, 2, there's a 1, 2, or 4 down here, but I think that still doesn't tell me that this can't be a length 4 10 sum. So you have to remember that. I do still think 2, 3, 5 is the most likely. The unfortunate thing is that these two can be the same digit because of the way that these black dotages are distributed. Jaleb points out, if I try to make this a 1, 2, now these are a minimum of 4, 5, and that's too many. So there's never a 1 on this. So there's always a 4 on this, which gets us an extra digit. So that's a 1 and that's a 4. So this is definitely 3, 6 on this black dot because 1, 2, and 4 are gone. So this is a 3, 6. So that makes that a 5 now because the 3, 6 looks at it, which makes that a 2 and a 1. So we've got that. This has been an interesting adventure for sure. This isn't a 4 anymore because I need a 4 over there. And now this can't be a length 410 line because it would need a 4 on it, and that can't be a 4 either. Hey, Alessandro, welcome. So yeah, that 4 now finally tells me I can't put a 4 anywhere in these 4 cells. So this really is where the 10 line breaks. Of course, we've got more 10 linitude going on down here. But what are you going to do? So these two cells need to sum to 7, and they're not 3, 4, or 1, 6, so they are 2, 5. And if these are 2, 5, then these aren't 2, so they're 4, 8, which makes this 2, 4, or 8 for the record. It makes these a very small number of digits. Oh, wow, you got recommended the reaction vid and then got to talk about radius of convergence in the analytic continuation video. Wow, you've been through the whole zetamath experience, Kitiara. Well, welcome. Yeah, so I'm going to remove 2, 5 there. That was what I was going to do. And no 8 either. Yes, Tristan here is our is the zetamath animator, so all of the pretty animations are all him. Okay, so what is going on with my life now? Oh, hey, Tristan. Okay, so I feel like I'm probably supposed to think about this this entropic line. So I'm noticing this cell on the entropic line can't be low. So this is either high, and it can't be... No, it could be high if it's exactly a 7 with regards to the 10 line. So this is either high or middling. But I'm not sure I yet know which. I know there's a 5 over here somewhere, just sudoku logically. let's see. Oh, right. Right. Okay, got it. This can't... So Jaleb explained this to me finally. This can't be a 6. Because if this is a 6, what's this going to be? Well, there's a 1, 2, 3 looking at it. So it's going to be a 4. But you can't put a 6 next to a 4 on an entropic line. So this is, in fact, always a 3 and a 6. That was a good spot. And well articulated by chat, because I wasn't seeing it. This isn't a 5 because you can't put a 5 and a 6 on an entropic line. So now this digit, if it's medium... Oh, this digit can't be high. Because this digit, that's something I should have seen. It sees 7, 8, and 9. And it can't be low because of the entropic line. So this is always middling. And so therefore this is always high. But which high digit is it? It can only be a 7. Because 8 and 9 blow the bank on the 10 line. So this is always a 7. And so now I know where the 5 and the 4 go. And so that's a 9 and a 7. So we get all of that. This isn't a 5 or a 4, because it has a 4 and a 5 looking at it in the... Wait, no, it doesn't have a 5 looking at it in the column, but it definitely has a 4 looking at it in the column. Let's see. These look... Oh, actually, before we mark those, let's mark this. Mark says that's a 6. I always trust Mark. Mark says these are a 7, 8, 9. So we can trust Mark about that, too. And so this digit is always a 1 or a 2. This is a 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it's not a 7. And so this needs to be low, so it can't be an 8. So this is 2 or 4. Right there. This can't be a 6 because that would need to be a 1, Tristan points out, because this is a German whisper line. Good spot to Tristan. Oh, right, this is on the entropic line, so this needs to be low, Jaleb points out, because this needs... The entropic line makes this a 1. Very smart. I can't possibly make this black dot work without it being 3, 6, so it is 3, 6, because I've used 1, 4, and 8 already. In fact, this is the only spot for 2 in the column. That's a 5. That's a 5. I really love the adding extra rules as you go along in the puzzle. That is a very cool idea that I had not really thought of, but is tickling me. Let's see. What shall we next? Well, this digit needs to be high, so it's a 7, 8, or... No, it does not, sorry. Sorry, the 10 line ended here. That's what I didn't notice. No, the 10 line didn't end here. The German whisper ended here, not the 10 line. Okay. So if this is a 4 and that's a 9, it's very interesting for the 10 line. But it's doable, because you could go 9 and 1 there. Okay, actually, these two digits always have to add to 10. Because if they don't add to 10, the minimum they add to is 9. And if they add to 9, that's a big problem, because now I would need this to be a 1, and I can't. So therefore, this is the start of a new 10 sum, which goes in this direction. And it could be anything. It could even be a boat. So we've got that. Now, digits up there somewhere, but that doesn't immediately seem helpful to me. Let's see. I mean, I really want that to be a 2-cell 10 sum, but I don't know. I love that I can see just the 3 in this quad, by the way. That is, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, but I actually can see only that in the quad, which seems that. This is a very old Family Guy reference, that is correct. Let's see. So we've got that. 5's not going in here. I'm just trying to make sure that the fact that this can't be exactly 4, 6 isn't a problem. Because if this is a 4, I need this digit to be less than 6. But I don't think it's a problem. Of course, it would go 4, 9, 1. Good spot to J40. This cell sees the entirety of this Renban, because wherever this Renban goes, I have no idea, but I know it doesn't get out of these cells. And this Renban needs to have a 4 on it because it has a 3 and a 5 on it. That's really clever. So that is super, super slick. So this is never a 4. So that's a 2. So therefore that's a 4, and that's an 8. Yeah, so this is maybe an 8. Maybe it's not an 8. Who knows? Okay, so this is... Let me look at the Renban now, because now the Renban's almost done. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. So this digit can only be a 1 or a 6. Just to make that work. Not that I know what to do with it, mind you. I want this to be 2, 3, 5 for whatever ridiculous reason. If that's 3 and that's 3, it places the 3 on the quad, which seems very likely. Why can't this be 8, 4? There must be a reason why this can't be 8, 4, right? Seems very likely. Oh, okay, so here's the question. Where does 5 in column 3 go? A couple of people in chat noticed this. 5 in column 3 always goes up here. So this could maybe be a 2-cell tensum, but then it would force there to be a 3-cell tensum with a 5. Because notice 5 can't be part of a 2-cell tensum ever. This I know is a 3, 7, 8, 9. It's not a 7. It's only a 3, 8, or 9. I no earthly idea what I'm supposed to do with that. This digit I know is at most 6, so I might as well pencil mark it. Yes, this digit's at most 6, so it actually can only be 1 or 6. If it's a 6, that's a 4. And if it's a 1, I feel like that could be... It's 1, 4, and then 5 still seems like it would work to me. Right, okay, so the point is, and this is Dog's point, this can't be a 6. Because if this is a 6, it makes that a 1, and now I have a sum of 7. I need a sum of 3, which I can't do in 2 cells because I've used the 1, so I have to do it in 1, but that means I have to put a 3 here, and the 3 is not on the quad. So this is, in fact, always a 4. Very, very good spotting. So that's an 8. And now there's a 6 on the quad. The 6 on the quad is definitely down here. And that 6 on the quad down there resolves both that 1, 6 and that 1, 6. This is a gorgeous puzzle and makes that a 1, by the way. Oh, and now there's an 8. Now there's an 8, and the 8 goes... the 8 goes exactly there. And now there's a 9. Oh, and now this is a 5. We're firing off now, because now this needs to add to 10, and so that's a 5. We know the 6 is down here. We know the 8 is... Oh, the 8's already placed. Let's see. So these are 3, 6, 9 is the point. And that one's not a 6. Let's see. So let's mark these. Seems useful. Someone asks, where is the 6 in box 7? Oh, I didn't even think of the fact that digits go on a quad in order, but that's probably true. So 6 needs to go in one of these two cells, but not in the column with a 6. So actually we can place that 6. So now these are a 2-cell 8 sum. That's not 1, 7, or 2, 6. So these are a 3 and a 5, and they have to be a 3 and a 5, not in that... What on earth happened? They have to be a 3 and a 5 in that order. I don't even know exactly what I did there, but it was bad. So therefore, that's my 9. So that's a 7 and a 9 and a 3. And that's an 8. Which doesn't immediately do wonderful things for me, but I'm sure it will eventually. These aren't a 9. I'll ask Mark kindly what these are. They're a 7 and a 2. I'll ask Mark kindly to fill in this naked single for me, because there's a 7-9 pair, so this is a 4. I'll ask Mark to fill in that and that, actually. So this is a 7. Right there. Let's see, this column we can ask Mark to fill in for us. This cell I probably should have Mark fill in for us. This cell appears to be a naked 9. Is that really true? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it is a naked 9. So that's an 8, and that's a 2, and that's a 9 and a 1. Nice. So now I'm certainly prepared to have Mark look at these cells. So this can't be a 7 or 8, because the next digit along is too big, so this is only a 1. Now, one of these two is a 5, and so the other one must be a 4, just based on the fact that I need this to work. If one of them was a 6, then this 1 is stranded. So, in fact, that's the 6. So we have all of that worked out. No 1, no 1. My line might continue up there. It's very possible. Let's mark these cells as well. So those cells are a 4-8 pair, placing a 1 there. And now that's a medium and a high digit on my entropic line. So therefore, because those are a medium and a high, this must be low. So that's a 2-3 pair. That yoinks 3 out of all of those. Places 3 in the column down here. Oops. Places 3 in the column down here. I'll place the right digit eventually. Just give it time. These aren't 6. Oh, and this is a 5 now because of the 2-3 pair. Oh, now there's a max. Now there's a max. Okay, so this can't be a 9 because of the max. So this is a 7. But now this has to be bigger. So that's a 9. So that's a 6. That's a 3 and a 6. That's a 4 and a 5. Yeah, I was definitely not expecting that one. I will admit, but it was hilarious. So I'm glad it was there. That's a 2, a 3, a 9, a 7, and 8. Let's ask Mark to have a look at these as well. 8 and a 7, and a 4 and a 7 and a 9. And this cell is a 2. Really nice puzzle. There was a lot of very clever usage of the what would be revealed at any given time. I'm actually not that upset with this 9 max. I don't usually like 9 maxes, but this 9 max was used to very humorous effect, so I will appreciate it. And we have the Cowboy Zach in chat. Oh, wow. Yeah, we do have a Cowboy Zach going on here. Yep. We've got some Cowboy Zacitude happening over here. Alrighty. So next up, we have Olima's puzzle. I'm going to jump right into it because today's stream is only going to be a little bitty stream because we've got to end before MathPesto's interview. So let's try this. So I think this should be doable in the amount of time based on what I see, but who knows? We could be wrong. So normal Sudoku rules. This is Olima's puzzle, by the way. Normal Sudoku rules. Adjacent digits on a green line must differ by at least 5, so classic German whispers. X's separate digits that sum to 10. V's separate digits that sum to 5. And all X's and V's are marked, but of course they could be under the fog. Can I have a randomly generated bet tree, Tristan? This digit, as is being pointed out, can only be 1 or 9. And the reason why this can only be 1 or 9 is that it is 5 away from 4 different digits. And the only way you can be 5 away from 4 different digits is to be 1 or 9. Let's see. Olima says row 8, column 8. So we'll just use Olima's bet tree. So none of these cells are 1 or 9, which is interesting. So, oh, yeah. None of these cells are 1 or 9, and those cells can't be 1 or 9. So the remaining 1 or 9 is in one of these two cells. So we have this weird pattern where I know my 1 or 9 is up here. I know this isn't 1 or 9 because of the negative constraint on X's, by the way. So 1 and 9 are here. So I know that this digit is not a 4. Because it would be next to a 1 for sure. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Where's the 5? 5 is definitely in one of these two cells. Oh, right, sorry. This could be a 4, because I couldn't see the V if that was it. Let's see. J40 asks if this is 1, where's the 4? Right. If this is 1, that's beautiful. If this is 1, these are all the high digits, and now the 4 is forced to go next to the 1, so it's not. Good spot, J40. So that's a 9. Okay. And so now we really can ask the point about this being a 4, and the answer is it isn't. But I can go ahead and fill in that I know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know that these aren't 1. And so I know that these are 5, 6, 7, 8, and I know that these aren't 5. This I know is a 1, 2, 3, 4. I should probably start coloring. I'll try and keep it quick. Those are blue, these are orange. But this fog digit is also blue. This is also orange. So why is it interesting that this is here? What is this V doing? Jaleb says if row 3, column 3 wasn't a 1, then I'd have an X on the top or left side of it. Oh, right. Because these are my two pairs of 10 things. So I have sort of 4 different pairs of things that add to 10. So I think really Isabella is suggesting that I subcolor these. I'm going to resist just for now, Isabella, but we'll come to it. So there's 4 ways of pairing things that sum to 10. This is 2 of them. One of them is 1 and 9. And then where's the other one? Well, that's the high digit of it. And so the high digit of it must be in one of these 2 cells. And so this can't be the low digit of it. So this has to be the 1. That's very clever. So this is a 4. So now in particular, this digit, where is its sum to 9 partner? Its sum to 9 partner is here, and therefore this is the 5. Oops, I did something wacky. Oops. Ah! No. Therefore, Zeta Scream for you. Bonus Zeta Scream. So that's not a 4, so that's not a 6. This is a 9, because it's next to a 4 on a Whisper. So we'll 9ify it and 1ify that cell. And in so doing, we will bluify that, orangify that. I think I can tell that this Whisper continues onto this side, so I think this can be bluified. I know this is a 2 or a 3. I know this is a 2 or a 3. It's not a 4, because that would be a V. This can't be a 6, so this is a 7 or an 8. Sadly, I don't know that these two 2-3s are different. This 5 can be refogged, as far as I care. This is orange. Let's see. We've got... Now what? So we've got a bunch of high digits here that I don't think really matter. Okay, so here's the thing. Where is 9 in this row? 9 in this row can't be next to a 9 or a 1. So one of these two has to be the 9 for the row, because of the negative XV business. So I do, in fact, have a 9 up here in one of these cells. Let's see. I was asking if these can both be low. Well, certainly they can't both be low, but I don't understand the point just yet. I only have one more high in this column, which is interesting. Oh, these two. Sorry, I misread where column 4 was. So these two are definitely the same high-lowity. This is Carl's point. What high-lowity would it be? Well, if it's low, these two C1 and 4, so they'd both be 2-3, which would break multiple things, including the fact that there's a 2-3 in the box and 2 and 3 sum to 5. So these are, in fact, actually high, and that's low, and that's high, and therefore that's low. And so one of these two is actually a 4. Because they can't be 2-3, and 1 is gone. So one of these two is a 4, and it's not the one that would put 16 9s into box 5. So therefore that's a 4, and that's a 9. This is a 2 or a 3. And so these are not 6, so these are a 7-8 pair, in fact. So the digit that remains is a 6 to put in here for the highs. I don't know if that's at all interesting yet. This digit can't be 2 or 3. So this digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And this digit can't be 2 or 3 either. So where is the last 2, 3 in this row? The last 2, 3 in this row is here for sure. So that's all the lows. Oh, and I've got a 7-8 pair in the row. So actually, this is a 5-6 is the only thing. But this is on a Whisper, so it's not a 5. So therefore, it's a 6, and that's a 1. Why what? What did I do that was weird? Why can't row 4, column 8 be a 2-3? Because if this was a 2-3, it would be next to a 2-3, and they would sub to 5. Or sorry, and they would sum to 5. And they would need a V. They were both in fog. Oh, right, they were both in fog. I don't know there's not a V there. You're right, sorry. Sad. Very tragic. There could be a V there, right. This still isn't a 7-8, though. And that's not a 5. So this is either a 2-3 or a 7-8. This thing is next to, this is Microstudies' point. This thing is next to a 7 and an 8, and 3 doesn't go next to a 7 and an 8. So this is a 2. So that's not a 2. So where does 1 go in this box? Only in one of these 3 spots, I suppose. Oh, no, okay. So where does 1 go in this box? Not in any of the spots I have marked, and not there either. So 1 in this box actually is quite restricted. It only goes in one of 2 spots. So we've got that. Oh, sorry. No, I'm doing it again. I'm assuming that can't be a 1 because this isn't an X, but this could be an X. Jim Baker points out this can't be a 6 because of the negative constraint, so that's a 5. So these, in fact, are a 3 and a 6. If this was a 6, this would be a 1. And if this were a 3, this is a 3, it makes that an 8, but that's okay, I think. This 5 can be refogged as well while we're refogging things. Let's see. The other 2-3 in this box has to be in one of these 2 cells for what it's worth. Oh, no, yeah, it does. That time it's actually true. So we will keep track of that. Negative X in row 4. Yes, negative X in row 4 is super helpful. Thank you, Doug. So 2 can't go next to 8, so that's a 7, and that's an 8, and that's an 8. So those can be 2 or 3 or a 2-3 pair, all of which seem on the table. Oh, but now my point from before works, because now I actually know there's not a V here. And so now this can't be a 3. So now that's a 6, and that's a 3. So now I get to use my point from before that was wrong before, but it's right now. So that's a 1. So these are a high and a low, and the low must be a 2. So one of these 2 cells has to be a 2, because it can't be a 4, because it would be next to 1. And so 2 goes with actually both 7 and 9. So these are from 2... Oh, but these can't be 9, because if either of these were a 9, that would not work either. So these are 2 and 7, actually, exactly on the nose. And so these are the other ones. They're not 2 and 7. Sadly, I was hoping I'd get some anti-nonsense nonsense, but I don't think I get any anti-nonsense nonsense from that. Tragic, but true, I fear. There's a 1 down in one of these 2 cells that is, I think, completely useless, because the 4 and the 9 in the box are already placed. 6 in this row actually only goes in 2 places, but that's not so exciting. This is not a 6 because of that, MicroStudy points out, although it gives credit to Carl. So that's a 6. So thank you to Carl and MicroStudy together, teaming up to get me a bunch of digits. So we get all of that stuff filled in. Oh, and that fills in a 3 here that I don't know if does anything. One of these cells is a 3. It can't be this one. Because this 3, if this is a 3, it's across a German whispers from a 7, which is a problem for lots of reasons, including that 3 and 7 aren't 5 apart, and that 3 and 7 sum to 10. Let's see. If this digit's high, it's a 6, and that's a 4. Otherwise, this digit is low, and who knows what's going on in the universe. This column needs a 4, and the 4 isn't there, so the 4 is down here somewhere. Let's see. The 5 in this row needs to go one of these 2 places. I do know that the 2 in this box goes in one of these only handful of places, but I don't think I know what to do with it yet. I could pencil mark these, but I don't necessarily know that I want to. Let's see, 6 in box 2 interests people, so none of those can be 6. So the 6 in this box is for sure in one of these cells. This being a 6 breaks. Because if it's a 6, I have to place a 4 in the box, and I can't. That's gorgeous, right? So the point is the 4 in this box is forced into this tetromino, so I can't put a 6 here that would see every cell of the tetromino. So actually that's low and that's high. So this is 2, 3, 4. That's a very good spot to Dan. Now this can't be a 4 for exactly the same reason, because if this is a 4, now I have to place the 6 in the box. So in fact, those are a 2, 3 pair. Jovi Wing on 2s places a 2 here. So I know one of these is a 6, and one of them is a 4. Not exciting. And one of them is a 5. I guess these I could just mark in as 4, 5, 6, and just be a little glum about it. I've got one 4, 5, 6 over here. And that 4, 5, or 6 is... where's the 4, 5, or 6 that goes in this row? Well, it's not a 5, so it's a 4 or a 6. And so therefore it's not there. So therefore this cell is a 4 or a 6, but it's not a 4. So this cell's a 6. So that's orange. I keep saying, and 6 can't go next to 1 by negative constraint in my head, but I've caught myself every time so far before actually saying that out loud. But it's going to happen at some point. That's a 3 by marking. That's a 2, so that's a 3, so that's a 7. So that is a 7 and a 2. This digit is high, and it's not a 7 or 8. So it is, and it's not a 6 either, so it's a 9 is the only thing it can be. These digits are markable. Let's see. No negative violations there, or there. No worries about 1s going next to 9s or anything like that. So we've got all of that. This 9, remember we said 9 in this row could only go in one of these 2 spots? Well, now it can only go in that spot, somewhat uselessly. But that lets me fill in this 9, which gets me 1 more square of fog where I see nothing. Excellent, excellent. This 9 is orange. That's probably why the puzzle is unhappy with me. We can mark these cells. This can't be a 6 because it would be next to that, next to the 4. So this can only be a 5 or an 8. That looks okay. That looks okay to me. Not sure that that has a lot of stuff going on. I'm certainly happy to mark all of this box. Give it to me, Mark. Interestingly, there's a 6 in this column that goes with the 4, and because the 6 and the 4 go in the column, if there's not an X or V in the fog, then they have to go there and there, but I'm realizing I'm about to make the same mistake I've made 10,000 times, which is that I don't know that there's not an X here. If I knew there wasn't an X here, it would be super useful. Let's see. This is a 2, that's a 1. Doesn't sound super useful. Let's see, Sayori asks about where 3 goes in row 7, not there, or there, or there. So 3 in row 7 actually is placed there. Nicely done, Sayori. So now that 3 certainly doesn't go next to the 7, there or there. So that's now placed as a 1. That's placed as an 8, and it's orange. That's placed as an orange, and it's a 7. That's placed as an orange, and it's a 9. That's placed as an orange, and it's a 7. No 8s, no 7s. This can't be a 2, because that would be viatude. This can't be a 1, because that would be exitude. Let's see. Okay, so I now know... Yeah, I don't quite know that this isn't a 4 or a 6 yet, because this could be a 4 or 6, and that could be the 4 or 6. Is still technically a possibility. JLib has the thing I can deduce, which is that this cell can't be an 8, because if this cell was an 8, these would be a 4, 6. So that definitely is a 4 or a 6. Let's see. 7 in box 2, I am meant to think about. So 7 in box 2 goes in one of these 2 cells. Then 3 in box 2. I do have to keep in mind I don't know that these don't add to 10. I think, Carl, that because I don't know if there's an X there, I don't know. Despite my frequent efforts to pretend that I know whether there's an X in places. I think we should mark the rest of the grid, though, because it can't be that bad. So let's have a look. Let's see. One of these 2 is a 6, sure. Okay, what else am I missing now? 4 or 5 pair in column 9. Oh, I can clean up the 4 or 5 pair. That's good. So this isn't a 5. That's not a 4. These aren't 4 or 5. These can't be a 2-8 pair. I know there's an 8. I do know there's an 8 up here in this box. Because there's just nowhere else that's allowed to be 8 in the box. So because there's an 8 up here, there's certainly not an 8 in these 2 cells. Peeling it down one bit at a time. And so one of these 2 I actually know is 8. Just to do that. This can't be a 6, so it's blue. Let's see. This cell can't be a 7 because one of these 2 is a 3. Which because of that, that tells me that 7 in this column is up here, and if 7 in the column is up there, it's certainly not over there. And so 7 in this column is actually down here. Oh, and it's not there. So I think we just placed the 7. I think this is a 7. By negative nonsense. Let's see. I think chat has a bunch of stuff. Chat tells me this isn't a 2, and it is blue. And this can't be a 1, and that can't be a 4, for now that this is because those would form a 1-4 pair, and I can't do that. Similarly, that isn't a 1, because it would form a 1-4 pair. 5, 6, 7 triple in box 3. Yes, 5, 6, 7 triple in box 3 is very nice. So these are not 5 or 6, and so MicroStudy's point is I can color those blue. MicroStudy would probably also like it if I colored this blue, because it's not a 6 anymore. And colored this 8, because it's not a thing anymore. So that's a 1, so that's a 4. So these aren't 1. That 4 says this isn't a 6, so this is a 7. So that's the 5 and the 6. So no 2 goes here, no 2 goes there, no 7 goes there. Oh, I had 7s marked, so now that just is a 7. So that's a 2. That's orange. It's a 9. This can't be a 3 doubly, unless it's allowed to see an even number of violations. This is a 6. This is a 1. That's a 3. This is not a 6. So these are a 5, 8 pair. This isn't a 6, so this is a 6. So no 6s, no 6s, no 1, 2s, no 3s, no 9. So these are a 1, 2, 5 triple now. So these aren't 5, and these aren't 5 either. These aren't 1, 2. They're 6, 8. These aren't 4 or 8. They're from 1, 2, 5. No idea what the bet tree could be, though. This is a 4, 5, 8 triple in this column, and so this is a 3 because of that triple. So that's a 4 and a 3. That's going to do a lot of damage. Oops. So this is not a 3. That's not a 4. This is a 4 now because of that. So no 4s. Wait, did I know that? Sorry, I think I overinterpreted my pencil marks. Because I think that 4 could still go in either of these places. I got overenthusiastic again. It happens. This can't be a 2 because it's next to a 3. Let us see. This can't be a 1 because it's next to some 9s. Oh, I'm told there's only 1 9 left. That seems promising. Even I think I can handle that. Yes, the 1 9 goes here. Thank you. So we've got... Where does 1 go in box 9? Not next to those. Got it. Yeah, both negative constraints rule 1 out of both of those. Good spot, Ace of Spades. So that's a 1. So these are not 1s. So that 2-5 pair gives me a 1 there. So no 1 here. Okay. It's being pointed out by Carl, I need to worry about these becoming a 4-6 pair, which will happen if I make that an 8. So therefore, this is the fog digit. So that's a 4. That is an 8. This is a 5. This is a 4. This is a 5. This is a 4. And so now this isn't a 6 anymore, so that's an 8. And now this isn't a 2 anymore, so that's fog. So this is 2. This is 6. This is orange now, and blue. Quick scan here. This is going to be gray, and this is going to be blue. Let's fill that in. So we can go ahead and color these blue and fog and orange. This is going to be orange. This is going to be blue, but we don't know which low digit it's going to be yet. So this is going to be a 6 and an 8 and a 6 and a 5 and a 1. And our betting tree is 2. Congratulations to all the 2 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. Woohoo. Yeah, we had a 2-digit dance in the last puzzle. Did we forget to do a digit dance in this puzzle? I think we might have forgotten to do a digit dance in this puzzle. I'm sorry, Zach. Alrighty, so I'm going to do some quick puzzles to finish off. So Ranks has been doing this series of doing these 6x6s called Adventures or something. One moment. Yes, the Sudoku Adventure series by many members of the Skunkworks. And Ranks told me that he very much enjoyed this. So we're going to do some 6x6s, and then we're going to be sure we end in time for Math Pesto's interview. And yes, thank you, Olima. That was fun. I enjoyed getting to play with the anti-XV stuff. Is often cool. And it combines well with German Whispers. My brain immediately wanted to color these blue. Oh, bye, Bremster. Yeah, Bremster and Ranks have both been doing all the Sudoku Adventures series, which is very cool of them. This is my first Sudoku Adventure puzzle. Microstudy confirms we did not do a 9 dance. We can do the 9 dance that Zach owes. This will be the overdue 9 dance, but I will let Zach put in some extra enthusiasm because it's in his contract that he's always supposed to get to dance at least once, so I will let him dance. Ba-doop-a-doop-boop, woo! Ba-doop-a-boop-boop-boop, woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. We'll fix it in post so that Zach will have danced during the German Whispers puzzle. We won't really do that, but we can pretend. Okay. We got a little Zeta ASMR there. So let us have a look at this. So this Renban, I suspect, needs to have a 4 on it because it's length 5, and all length 5 Renban need to have a 4 on them. If they're in a 6x6, because remember, we're talking about the digits 1 through 6 only, so therefore this is a 4. And now this Renban needs to have a 4 as well, and it can only go there. So we've got that going on. So I know there's a 1 up here just by Sudoku. And so that means that the digits on this Renban are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not any 6s going on. So that is therefore the 6. So we get all of that stuff going on for free. So I know there's a 6 on this Renban now, because there's a 6 in this column somewhere, and it's always on this Renban because it's not on that one, which means that the digits on this are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's not a 3 either. So one of these two cells is a 1, which is going to let me sort of pachinko the 1 over down here. So now this Renban's digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of that, these are not 4, I am being informed. This one's not the 1 for whatever reason, I can't quite tell you. But that means there is a 4 going in one of these two cells, which means that the 4 on this Renban is in one of those two cells. This isn't a 2 either. This isn't a 2 either. Now the 6 in this column is definitely on this Renban. So we get sort of a similar thing. In fact, the 6 in this column... Oh, I guess it's going to be one of those two places. I don't quite know yet. Let's see. Okay, so what else can we do with our life? Oh, okay, I see. So Isabella has it. Where does 6 go in row 6? Well, if I put a 6 here, I put a second 6 on this Renban. That doesn't work. So therefore, the only place that I can actually put a 6 in the row is there. That was very clever. So I know one of these two is a 3. I know there's a 3 and a 4 down here. Let's see. Right, and now there's a 2, 3, 5 pair, Microstudy points out, and so therefore that's a 1. So these are not 1. Definitely, by the way, give a follow to Ranks if you have not yet watched Ranks' channel. Ranks streams all of these. So Carl has a point, which I actually want to restart the grid and point out, which is just look at, from this moment, with nothing else, you actually know the corners are a 1-6 pair in all cases. And here's the reason. How many total 1s and 6s can possibly be in the cells I have highlighted? And the answer is at most 4 total 1s and 6s, because each of these Renban can only have 1, 1, or 1, 6, but not both, because 1 and 6 are too far apart. Well, if I put a 1 or a 6 anywhere but the corners, that immediately gives me too many 1s and 6s. So actually, if we'd have been paying close attention, we could have immediately, even without the givens or anything, we could have filled a 1-6 pair in the corner. So that's really cool. So in particular, that means that that's a 6 and that's a 1. That is cool. So we've got that. Don't quite know exactly what to do with it yet, but we'll figure it out. I have a 1 in column 3, which is going to be very helpful because it's going to be that one, which is going to give me that 1. Which is going to give me a 2, 3, 5 triple in this column. Thank you, Olima. So this is a 6. So this is a 2 or a 5, which means this is not a 5. In fact, these cells are a 5 and a 6. So that's the 6 and that's the 5. So the 5 in row 1 is not up here, so it's up here, which means in particular this is never a 5. We'll go ahead and record for posterity. These two digits are a 3-4 pair. No big deal here. So this digit C is a 3-4 pair. This is probably overkill for this puzzle, but I like it, so I'm going to do it anyway. This cell sees that through the Renban and that through Sudoku, so this cell can't be a 3. So we get that. These digits are, let's just go ahead and, oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Let's just go ahead and mark these digits. So they are from 2, 3, 5, so this can only be a 5. These are a 2, 3 pair, but that 5 actually comes down and gives me a 3 down here. It tells me that's not 3, which gives me a 2, 5 pair on the Renban, which means that digit is a 3. These are a 2, 5. But this can't be a 2 because they would add to 5, I believe, is how this works, right? This is not a 3. Oh, there's a 3 on the Renban already, so this isn't a 3 either. That's probably a smarter point to make. So that's a 2 and a 5 and a 2 and a 5. That's a 3 and a 2 and a 5. That's a 2 and a 5. And so let us mark the rest of the grid. So that is a 4, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 6. Very lovely puzzle. I enjoyed that quite a bit. That was a fun little romp. Very, very elegant intro to this. Oh, have you not seen the magic of the mark button, Tesseralis? There is a little applet made by Chameleon called the Magic Marker that gives you a little button that will go and mark either selected cells or all of them. Mark jump scare. I love it. That's a great way to think about it. Okay, let me look at 6x6s. See if anyone has posted. I'm sure lots of people have posted 6x6s. Let's see. Has anyone who's posted a 6x6 recently? I want to avoid doing anything that's going to put me over. So has anyone done 6x6? So Ambrose, the reason is because in 23 minutes, Math Pesto is having an interview with Meme Rister, and we want people to go see that. But to make up for the fact that today's stream is short, and also because I want to, I am streaming Taiji tomorrow. Okay, so we will do Renban Walls. Okay, so mini Renban Walls. Yes, do please be sure to like the stream. It is always appreciated when folk do that. We love you all. So let's read the rules to mini Renban Walls. So digits touching a purple Renban wall form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits. Additionally, the wall separates the high digits from the low digits in that set. The solver must determine which side is which for each wall. Walls are split into corner and edge segments to make it clear which cell the wall touches. Okay, so we've got... How can this separate this into high and low digits? I guess this is either the highest or the lowest. Somehow in my brain, I was thinking separates it into high and low digits was something. But I maybe it's just the highest or the lowest goes here. Let's see. Yeah, I also worry I might need the rest of the stream to understand the rule, but hopefully we'll get there. So one of these is a 6. And so if I understand the way the world works, that means that these are a 4, 5, 6, 3 Renban. Those aren't the 4, these aren't the 6. And in fact, this can only be the 3 or the 6 because it's either the highest or the lowest. So if I understood things correctly, that is all happening. So in particular, I know that, yeah, I'm guessing the isolated dot does not separate anything. So I know one of these is a 4, but it's not super interesting immediately, I don't think. I do know one of these is a 6, so I know that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and those aren't 6. Now, if this is, so these are either 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, and these are the other of 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to decide if one of those would break this box, but I don't think so. I might as well fill in that I know that this digit is 1 or 5 because these 4 things are over here. So I guess this digit's always 2 or 4. This doesn't feel like it's helping, but it might eventually come down to being useful. So, oh, one of these is a 4. That's huge. Okay, now I get it. So one of these is a 4 because there's no 4 up there, which means this isn't a 4, so it's a 2, and that's a 1. Let's go. So we can mark these cells because they don't have that many possibilities. We can mark these cells because they don't have that many possibilities. Always one of these is a 4, and this is not a 4. Let's see. Okay, so these aren't 2s, which is good to know. Let's see. So this is on a Renban with a 3 or a 5, so it's even. So it's not 1, 3, or 5, so this is only from 2 or 4. We will make that note. Kuraban with the spot. This can't be a 5 because this would need to be 4 or 6, and it can't be. I kind of hope that wasn't actually necessary, but also it's super cool. Let's see. It's the kind of swish spot that you hope for. So this is also 1 or 5 for the same reason that was 1 or 5. Namely that this is a length 4 Renban, so it's got to eat up either thing or thing. So the high digits are either 4, 5, or I guess they could be 3, 4. Yeah, maybe I'm not quite sure what to do with that yet. Let's see. It's so powerful that these are either 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 gets really interesting with this cell because it bullies that cell into being a 4. Let's see. So many Renban for the price of 1. Right. 1 can't go in either of these because 1 is in one of these. Jaleb points out that's cool. So that makes this an actual 3, 4, 5 triple. So this is 3, 4, 5. That's not the 4. So therefore, these are 1, 2, and 6. Spoiler, that one wasn't the 2. 1, 2, 6. That one's not the 6. Now, so one of these columns is 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to think about what that means in terms of, say, this cell being 5 and 4, and whether that breaks. I don't think it quite does. Maybe it does if I look harder. Let's see. Ambrose says if this is in row 1, column 5. Hi, Elethana, by the way. You get too many 1, 2, 3s in this column. So, yes, that's true. Because if this is a 5, then these are 1, 2, 3. But now these 5 cells are all from 1, 2, 3, 5. That's very cool. Okay, so this is never a 5. So one of these two is a 5, which lets me say that that's not a 5, which says that one of these two is a 5. And so, in fact, they're a 4, 5 pair, which has made that a 3, which sounded really exciting, which is why my voice got all excited until I realized it didn't do anything. But we like it. We like it. So there's no 3, 4 up here. Sorry, there's no 2 up here, because these are 3, 4, 6. So these are 1, 2, 5. And those 3 4s bounce down here and tell me these are 2 5s. So this can't be a 1 anymore. So this is either 2, 3 or 5, 4. People said this can't be a 1 or can't be a 5 or something. The 2-cell Renbans in box 5. There aren't any 2-cell Renbans. There's only sort of 1 4-cell Renban, right? Oh, no. I see. Because the high and the low really are kind of Renban. So this is Jay's point. If this is a 1, then one of these columns is 2, 3, and one of them's 4, 5, and whichever of them is 4, 5 breaks that. So this is not a 1, it's a 5. And so now one of these is 1, 2. And one of them is 3, 4. These aren't 5. One of these is 5. Let's see. Kitiara says row 5, column 4, 5. Can't be 4 or 5, because whichever of those columns has 4, 5, 6 has the 6 in row 5. Right, that's very smart, right. Where does the 6 go on this whole mess? The 6 on this whole mess goes here, and so the thing opposite the 6 can't possibly be a 4, or we've broken the rules. Very good spot. Sorry I made you wait for that one. So we've got that. I know one of these is 1, 2, and one of them's 3, 4. So I sort of can almost visualize what this whole thing's going to look like, but not quite. I know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4 overall. So if these are the 3, 4, then these have to be either 1, 2, or 5, 6. if this is 1, 2, then these have to be 3, 4. Oh, they can't be 3, 4. That's the point. So if these are 1, 2, because of this, these would have to be 3, 4. But 3 and 4 are on opposite sides. So these aren't 1, 2. These are 3, 4. Those are 1, 2. So that's a 6 and a 3 and a 6. And now these are either 1, 2 or 5, 6. And if they're 1, 2, this is a 3. And if they're 5, 6, this is a 4. So this is never a 5, I think, is what we just showed. So this is either 1, 2 with a 3 or 5, 6 with a 4. Yep, so this is always 3 or 4. It's never 5. This column now has a 3, 4 pair in it somehow. So no 3 there, no 4 there. There's a 3, 4 pair there, Olima points out. So that makes that a 5 and a 4 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 5. That was a lot. Oh, 2, by the way, only Renban's 3. It does not Renban 4 without extra friends being invited to the party. So now this is the 6, 5 on this side. This is the 1, 3 on this side. So that's a 1 and a 6 and a 5 and a 2. And a 5, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a 4, and a 3, and a 4. Very nice puzzle, Heliopolix, and very appropriate for end of stream. Also, I got to a Renban puzzle before Tristan, so I'm excited by that. So yeah, that's very interesting. And a very well done sort of intro to the idea. I'm sure that I bet you could do more with this sort of Renban wall idea. I think it has potential. But I also just always want there to be more Renban in the world. All right, so I think I should wrap up before I push my luck and run into Math Pesto's interview. So again, in only 8 minutes or so, there's going to be Oh, by the way, Heliopolix says there is a 9x9. So if you could send that to Tristan, we'll throw it in the bucket and get to it eventually. But yeah, so in 8 minutes, Math Pesto, who is featured on the channel many times, including on the Puzzles of the Year list, is doing an interview with Meme Rister. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say about setting, because they do a lot of cool stuff with puzzles and have a lot of creative ideas. So I'm interested to see it. They've been on Meme Rister's channel many times before. So I encourage you, go have a look. We'll set it up to forward you directly there afterwards. And then we will be in good shape. So you can hang out. We'll probably hang out there as well. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. As always, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below. You can support for as little as $5 a month. It gets you little cute things. The stream is free. We're happy to have you here. We're happy to have you point out naked singles and all the other various things. But if you do want to support, if you have the money and would like to, you can click the join button and we get you a few little things like you can use the new Zach emotes and such hanging around. Thank you, Ace of Spades, for the Zach roping emote. That is a heart. I was wondering if we would get to use the roping emote enough times, but it's already come up plenty of times to use the roping emote, so it seems very, very apropos. Yeah, there they go. And yeah, so you get the green name, the windmill. At higher levels, you could do things like vote on puzzles from the bucket. I do promise that in the very near future, we will be done with Fog of War puzzles, and we will do a couple streams at least, maybe 3 or 4, where we just do the highest puzzle in the bucket, starting at the top, or the most voted on puzzle in the bucket, and then go on down, because I know the supporters who've been paying for the privilege of voting on what puzzles I do have not gotten a lot of bang for their buck in the past couple months, because we went from birthday puzzles into 2000 year puzzles to 2,000 subscriber puzzles, and we're already at over 2,400 subscribers, which is very exciting. So thank you all. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Into Fog of War, but we're gonna return back and see what the Sudoku world has been up to for the past 2 months, starting very soon. But thank you to everyone for all the Fog of War puzzles. They have been great and enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Kuraban says start working on the 3K puzzles. Oh no. Anyway, thank you so much. That's all from me for today. But again, I will be back streaming Taiji tomorrow. So if you want to see me try and stream Fake the Witness, hang out with that. It'll be fun. And then on Sunday, I'll be back and we'll finish up the Fog of War puzzles, I hope, barring any more things. And we'll be on our way. So thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.